Salutations everybody, it is Matty here today, sitting down for a little PlayStation video. Whoa, what's going on here? I know, right? Surprise, surprise. But the showcase is soon upon us and there have been numerous leaks heading into it, and I want to talk about all of them because I'm very keen to see what PlayStation has cooking for us. There's no denying that a lot of excitement is building around the showcase because it's such a rarity that PlayStation steps out and says, we're doing this big, broad showcase. And especially so when it's mostly gameplay when it comes to their showcases, and they're going for over an hour. So we're about to get a ton of content. A lot of it we've heard about through leaks and rumors. We talked about that in a previous video, but since then, there's been a lot of new ones. So I want to get into all that here in today's video, from acquisitions to MGS3 to Spider-Man 2. The list goes on. There's a lot to be excited for. So let's dive in. If you're new here and you're into man, we're doing more PlayStation videos. If you're into gaming videos, I mean, what do I say now? I used to say Xbox news and information, but I guess PlayStation too. Consider subscribing. We'll see what we can do for you. And with that, let's begin with acquisition season. So always this conversation is circling around Xbox, how Xbox is buying this company, how Xbox should buy that company because of Game Pass and that portfolio that they need to keep feeding over and over and over, the unsatiated beast that is Game Pass. However, PlayStation will soon have to start reacting to all of Xbox's purchases, no doubt about it. And this is what a lot of people feared when it came to the consolidation of the industry. But to me, I feel like what happens is usually you see a departure from a long-standing studio, from a veteran who builds their own studio. So I'm personally not too afraid of all of that. I'm excited to see how PlayStation plans to strengthen their portfolio because it looks like they're putting some cash aside for a big move. This article comes from The Gamer, titled, "Sony is reportedly gearing up for more acquisitions." The Financial Times reports that Sony is looking to get even more serious with mergers and acquisitions. At a news conference, Sony's president, Hiroki Totoki, said the company could spin off its financial arm in order to ramp up its investment capabilities. In order to expand growth over the medium to the longer term, we need the ability to invest in image sensors and the entertainment business at a completely new level. Of course, a lot of people are wondering, this is interesting timing. Is something coming together for the showcase? As much as that would be great, and these types of things don't leak, the possibility is they could announce an intent to acquire, but you're not going to suddenly have a new addition to the PlayStation Studios family that day. Like, it's going to take time no matter what. If what we've seen with Xbox now twice over in the last handful of years is anything to go by. But this could be something present at the showcase. I would imagine not, though, because I feel like the focus is going to be on hardware and games. Hardware being the PS5 new model as well as the Q Lite. And I don't know if they jam in a studio acquisition announcement, but they've been really doing that over on social media. So unless this is a gangbusters one, like people have speculated Square Enix, then that would be huge and I think would be cool to see in a showcase because we haven't really seen that since Xbox did it. So we'll see, but just know PlayStation is gearing up and something to keep a lookout for while we head into the showcase. But more in the terms of games that we can feel pretty confident we're going to see, let's talk a bit about Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. Now, for all my Xbox fans tuning in here, you may find this one pretty exciting, or relieving would probably be the best word, because a lot of reports were initially saying that it's very well possible Metal Gear Solid 3 Remake will be a PlayStation exclusive. It's a horribly kept secret by Konami that this game is on the way. It's just a matter of what consoles, what platforms is it coming to? Well, according to Insider Gaming, Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater Remake isn't a PlayStation exclusive. They write, Insider Gaming sources have revealed that the Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater Remake will not be a PlayStation exclusive despite the rumors online. The Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater Remake is arguably one of Konami's, as I just said, worst kept secrets, with it being understood that the announcement will be made at the PlayStation Showcase as a teaser, not a full gameplay trailer, which the showcase is very soon. So at first, I think a lot of people are going to say, based off the rumors and how long this has been circulating for, a teaser may be surprising, but when you take a moment to think about it a little bit longer, you know, Konami is just getting really back into the swing of things when it comes to full-on game development, and they're really starting to utilize their entire portfolio. We know Silent Hill is in development right now. It's Silent Hill 2 Remake, among many other Silent Hill games. And then also now we've got reportedly this. So as they're quickly dipping their toes in with things like collections and whatnot, like the Castlevania collection, this type of stuff is going to take time for them to gear back up once more And so I personally think that it makes sense why we just get a teaser. But after I played it for Retro Rebound, after playing some MGS3, what a great game, but there's definitely a lot of things that could be improved easily in a remake, you know, such as being able to crouch and walk at the same time. I think that would be great. But there's a lot of sim elements that I completely forgot about, like the survival elements where you're picking up food and eating it to keep your stamina up. I mean, there's so many little immersive sim elements in the game that I really appreciate all these years later. But going back and testing it for Retro Rebound, I thought, okay, yeah, this is a good pick for a remake, despite how fantastic the story is, the character development is, the presentation. There are little things like, I think the way that they dole out the story, it's very exposition heavy, which is fine, because I like that there are some almost JRPG intricacies jammed into a Metal Gear game, like the amount of dialogue, the amount of exposition, the amount of philosophical statements from characters that feel out of place. It's just that you're parked in this one screen talking over a radio for what can be 10 plus minutes. And I feel like they can streamline some of that stuff where maybe it's a radio while you're walking around. Little things like that, I think, are going to help this game out a lot when it's already fantastic. You just kind of have to copy the actual mold that is there and then just build the right quality of life enhancements around it, at least to my feel personally. Also, the way like aiming was with R1 and then shooting with square, that type of stuff, I think we can just leave in the past right now. Although Kojima likes that more methodical, clunky approach to his games. Like, it makes you think a little bit more. But nonetheless, not going to be PlayStation exclusive apparently, which for Xbox fans is definitely going to be a breath of fresh air, no doubt, because Konami seemed to be supporting us when you got that Suikoden announcement, and we were thinking, wow, that feels like not an Xbox game that's actually coming to the platform. Okay, cool. So then to see PlayStation get the MGS3 remake exclusively kind of made sense then, because you look at something like, oh, well, they're getting Silent Hill 2 remake. So sure, the partnership is there, but this one being multi-plat would be really good for Xbox fans. It's just one less thing we get to miss out on. I think it's pretty much a guarantee to say that Spider-Man 2 is going to be at this showcase. There's no doubt it's going to be dated. PlayStation and Insomniac already said it's coming towards the end of the year, and we're about to approach in June the halfway point of the year, and we still know nothing. So I feel like this is pretty much a lock to be there. But Najee Jeter, who is actually the voice actor for Miles Morales in the games, did a little bit of a panel, and I'm going to let him do all the talking for us. You'll immediately tell he went, oh boy, I kind of messed up there. But let's hear what he had to say about the game.
Is Spider-Man 2 co-op?
I believe it has been. I think it has been announced. I think, I don't know if it's been announced or not, but I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
mean,
you seen part 2 trailer, right?
Oh yes, I have.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I mean,
So
like
that right there. If nothing is giving you a little sense of that,
I feel that
we'll have a part 2 coming out soon. So
yeah, bro, I feel that. But then like,
yeah, it's gonna be crazy, bro.
You know, like do you
we
also
have
get
a
Venom
lot.
too? Like,
you said again?
yeah, bro, like do you get Venom too? You know, like do you get the symbiote on you?
Shh, they're everywhere.
What?
They're gonna be everywhere.
Oh. That's all I needed to know. I'm gonna go back in the line. I'm gonna let someone else ask questions.
They will be everywhere. Come on, where you at?
Well, based off Najee's initial answer, you wouldn't be wrong to think, oh yeah, it's definitely co-op. I mean, he got nervous, he was backtracking on his words, he was heavily hinting at it. He said, did you see the first trailer? And of course, in the first Spider-Man 2 trailer, we saw 2 Spider-Men. And the idea of Spider-Man co-op is kind of tantalizing when you think about it. The idea of having like your friend playing as Miles Morales and you're playing as Peter Parker, and the different move sets that they have just based off the 2 games we've seen could be expanded upon. It would be great, right? It kind of sells itself. But what I always imagined when I saw that trailer was more of like a GTA 5 sort of vibe, as in when you have Peter Parker web swinging around New York City, you actually might bump into Miles Morales, who's fighting crime on his own, and you can switch to him whenever. And I think that is a really cool evolution on what a Spider-Man game can be. But none of that really matters, what I have to say, ultimately, because Insomniac has the final word. And here's what they said on Twitter. Nope, it's an epic single-player adventure. Now, I thought this was a bit of a surprise because the rumors, the speculation, of course, but now Najee kind of suggesting co-op, and you see something like this. Of course, Insomniac would know better than the voice actor or voice actress or whomever is working in the booth on the game, doing mocap on the game. However, this is kind of nice to see. This was something I was wondering a bit about, and I really, even though it's just an idea in my head, have grown quite fond of the idea of this more GTA 5 style Spider-Man game, because then I think of, you know, how there were 3 in GTA 5, and what if the third is Venom? That would be awesome. Now, one thing that Najee does mention is symbiotes are everywhere. This would make a ton of sense. We see Venom in the trailer, for God's sakes, and I will not say anything else beyond that when it comes to Spider-Man 1 story. But the point being is, I start to get a bit of Web of Shadows vibes where symbiotes were everywhere. That's what that whole game was about. I think about Ultimate Spider-Man as well. Just that symbiote-driven storyline could be so great, and especially when you pack in that emotion that you see from Insomniac's first Spider-Man effort, from Miles Morales. The care, the love, the effort they put into the characters and those who surround them has me so excited to see if maybe this gets really dark, because that could be a really awesome side of the Spider-Verse in gaming that we really never saw. The most we saw was Spider-Man killing Wolverine in Web of Shadows, but that was a long, long time ago, and as much as I like parts of that game, it's super jank. So to see it on a AAA, highly polished level is cool. But nonetheless, despite what Najee said, which I saw was going all over Twitter and Reddit, it seems like it is just a single-player video game. This last one's a bit of cleanup duty, but also, hey, if you're like me, you should probably just be aware of it, I guess. So Jeff Grubb, good buddy of mine, he runs the Games Mess podcast, and they were talking about Kotor Remake. And go ahead and take a listen.
Which remake first, Kotor or Prince of Persia? That's interesting.
That's a good one.
Yeah, those are two where if neither of those ever came out, I wouldn't be shocked.
Yes, for sure. We got Ubisoft's like lineup for the next year, right? Or the next fiscal year, and no mention of Prince of Persia at all.
Yeah, man.
I still think Prince of Persia comes out though before Kotor, which I don't think will ever come out.
So let's get one thing clear. I saw this going crazy on Reddit, saw it going crazy on Twitter. Jeff is well connected, but this is the problem with some people and Jeff's relationship, and I feel bad for the guy, is he will just speculate in a very obvious manner, and people will take it and publish it all over social media like it is a scoop. And I feel like Jeff has made it very clear when he is scooping, when he is telling you directly, like he gets this look in the camera and pretty much directly says like, hey, this is a scoop, versus what he did here, which was, I don't think it's coming out. Now, with that in mind, he is well connected enough where he may have heard a thing or two, but I feel he would have specified as much, because I think Jeff does the right thing and just keeps the pipeline nice, transparent, and open with the flow of information spewing into the podcast. And I think if he knew something then and there, he would have said so. But I think it's running off of the information we already know, which is that the game is indefinitely delayed, that a 2025 release, according to Schreier, is the best we may get, and that it's Switch developers. I think another peek at it would probably make a lot of sense. Maybe not at this showcase, if I'm being honest with myself, but at some point, because you got to reestablish to the public, this is the new developer, this is the new vision. And none of us are really aware when it comes to the KOTOR remake on what was brought over. Did Saber Interactive, who's supposedly the developer now, did they inherit the project as is and start retooling it? Are they rebuilding it from the ground up? There's a lot of question marks surrounding it, and unfortunately my source went completely ice cold, so I have no more insight on the project at all, whatsoever. And it bums me out, because for once I had like this one line to the thing that I just cared so much about. I was like, I can get my fix whenever and then provide the audience the fix. Ooh, this is great. But unfortunately, I got nothing for y'all when it comes to KOTOR Remake other than sadness, because this is a game that I feel like so deservedly needs to exist. I love Knights of the Old Republic so much, but even I can admit there are parts that I think as time goes on makes it harder to recommend to people who aren't appreciative of stories and characters and world building. You know, the combat being one of those where I find it satisfying, I find it enjoyable, but I know that a lot of people don't. And I understand and respect that, and I feel like a modern take a la what was apparently going on, which was Final Fantasy VII Remake, would have been just fantastic for that game, because the combat style already lends itself to that, or Xenoblade Chronicles 3. But it's possible we're waiting even longer, man. Even any kind of sneak peek, I would screech, but we shall see, ladies and gentlemen. That's what's going on for all these leaks across the PlayStation Nation. So Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoy. I hope you're excited for the showcase because I got a good feeling about this, that we're going to get a couple of surprises out of there that no one's really expecting. Like, imagine there's like a Sly Cooper game. Whew, I would lose it. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in once more. Take excellent care of yourselves. Be sure to follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. Those links are in the description down below. And a big thank you to all the patrons, all the members who continue to support the hell out of the content here. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.